controversy that erupted after Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, announced its decision to slash a $21 million program in India may have fallen off the headlines now. It's off the radar, but it did kick up quite a political storm, especially when President Trump remarked that they were trying to interfere in the Indian electoral process. So in this episode of Sideline from the Headlines, we're going to discuss some of the takeaways from this entire story, from this entire headline. And with me is the executive editor, Afrida Ali.
Thank you, Anushka. Indeed, the fact that this one statement sent us into a tizzy and there was political blame game, and immediately you had the BJP leadership saying that, well, Biden administration was trying to influence voters, and it just goes to show that here is someone who is quite irresponsible with his statements. We have always known it, and yet we allowed ourselves, to fall into this trap. And after all, as it turns out, it was inaccurate, isn't it?
It was inaccurate. That money apparently was not used for voter turnout in India. It was used for Bangladesh. So it was not accurate news. We know that President Trump can be a loose cannon. He makes unsubstantiated remarks. I mean, this is the person who said we should occupy Gaza and make it into a seaside resort. And what happens to all those refugees? And what happens to all those inhabitants of Gaza? This is the same person who makes irrational statements like that. And how can we let his statements create such a political storm in India, and all these conspiracy theories then come up?
Yeah, but you have the actual breakup of what actually comes to India as aid.
Yes. So the Indian Finance Ministry's 2023-2024 annual report mentions that US aid was involved in 7 projects in India with a total funding of approximately $750 million. Projects were in the area of agriculture, sanitation, health, renewable energy, disaster management and all. So yes, US aid does fund a lot of projects in India in these specific areas.
Yeah, and it's been happening. I mean, it's not as if it's over the decades this has been the practice, and it's a practice across the globe. And some superpowers, the way it works is they support certain other developing economies also to maintain stability in the economy, because after all the world is interdependent. So it's not a big deal that this portion of aid was coming. But what percentage of budget really, I'm curious to know.
So there's a statistic that's 71.9 billion in foreign aid that the government, US government, spent in fiscal 2023 works out to just a little over 1% of that year's total federal outlays. So it's just a little over 1%. It's not a huge amount of their entire federal outlays. India helps other countries. That's the nature of the world today. I mean, countries do developmental work in less developed countries. I mean, India helps its neighbors. We've bailed out Sri Lanka. I mean, that's the way the world works now.
And some of these projects, the beneficiaries, there are some worthy causes, isn't it? I mean, it's not as if the fund is, it's like a drain on their resources, as you explained, a very minuscule part. And also the fact that here are certain causes which needed that funding. Do we have clarity on what sort of causes, humanitarian causes or whatever, that were being supported, and what exactly will be the impact now?
Yeah, so just to clarify, with developmental organizations, USAID or any international developmental organization, it's not always black and white. Yes, there are agendas. There are personal agendas of people who work in them. There's countries' agendas, political agendas that are pushed, vested geopolitical interests that are pushed. So it's not black and white. Yes, these organizations can be corrupt. We know that. They're not, all pure and well-intentioned always. But having said that, there are good projects because they are helping the poorest of the poor in other countries. So some now 10,000 US aid contracts were ended now, have been ended, right? 90% of foreign aid contracts issued by the US Agency for International Development, that's the USAID, have been cut. 90% of the foreign aid contracts have been cut, and that's a huge amount.
Yeah, and this is across the world. But I must say that one example which I of course read about is that how these medical clinics that were supporting transgenders, there's one such clinic in Hyderabad that had to be shut because it was completely dependent on USAID. So there is this impact, and the fact that Trump being the President of the United States, has a transphobic, homophobic mindset. Somewhere it has had its impact. We always used to think that, okay, I mean, it's the United States that has elected him, so be it. What do we have to do? We have stakes in it as well. So that is very, very clear that if that sort of mindset does have a trickle down impact, if a transgender clinic here in India shuts when the aid stops.
Yes, absolutely. There is an impact, and many such clinics and projects will be impacted by this cut, by this cut in US aid spending.
Yeah.
There's health projects, because during COVID and all, they had help. There's TB control and, women and children's project. For example, there's the biggest NGO in South Africa dealing with HIV. That also will not receive funding anymore. Clinics in Haiti. So it's a lot of deserving projects that will lose out. Yes, there are a lot of undeserving people also who will now not receive their funding, but a lot of deserving people will not receive their
Yeah,
funding.
so you throw the baby out of the bathwater.
Yeah.
There's some important things that will also suffer, but my concern here is that we live in an interconnected world. Anushka, it's not as if today you decide to draw up the walls, you shut the door on us. It's not as if it will not have somewhere an impact on you. It could backfire. Therefore I say this is penny wise, pound foolish.
Yes.
You want to save a penny here, but you don't know what is the long term impact that you're creating with this sort of a policy. Nobody exists in isolation. You may be a rich and powerful country, but you don't produce everything under the sun in your land and within your boundaries. There is interdependence with other countries, and that's how globalization happened over the world. Now you want to reverse that process. I'm sure it's going to have somewhere down the line some negative impact. But Elon Musk, I think you have something important to say, and we were discussing this, the irony of it all.
The irony of it all, that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, one of the richest men in the world, and he's slashing funding or freezing funding to some of the poorest nations and the poorest people in the world. He's someone who has benefited from government
Corporate
subsidies. But of course, he doesn't want to help anyone else, because now their agendas only make America great again, or make Elon great, or make Trump great. So that's it. It doesn't matter. So the richest man is actually choking funding to the poorest people.
The poor. I mean, that's the hypocrisy. You've survived all your life on subsidies, and here, whatever little that was going into the poor, as Anushka mentioned, is being halted. We leave it at that. The whole idea is to bring back to focus some issues from the sidelined headline. Thanks for watching.